Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Debanye, depending on your location. Please join in the struggle to liberate our people from the contraption by liking and sharing our videos. Now the updates. Apex Court, not neutral. IPOB knocks Supreme Court over Nnamdi Kanu's case. Now, the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB has berated the Supreme Court of Nigeria over its failure to fix a date to hear the federal government's appeal against the leader of the IPOB. Yes, talking about the release of Nnamdi Kanu. The federal government has appealed against that. You will recall that Muhammadu Buhari approached the Apex Court to challenge the discharge and acquittal of the leader of the IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, by the Appellate Court. There is Court of Appeal in Abuja. But the Supreme Court is yet to fix a date to hear this case. That is the problem. And the IPOB is not happy about it. In a statement made by the IPOB, let me quote them now. We, the global movement and family of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, ably led by the great prophet and indefatigable liberator Nnamdi Kanu, question the silence and refusal from the justices of the Supreme Court of Nigeria to hear the appeal case of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, despite all the accelerated hearing processes filed on the case. The recent political developments and ethnic profiling of Igbo in Nigeria are also playing out in the case of Kanu, which the justices of the Supreme Court of Nigeria have held down. It is evident that the lives of Biafrans, particularly Igbo, are endangered in Nigeria. We have witnessed the Supreme Court of Nigeria giving accelerated hearings to political cases brought before them, but have kept mute over the human rights abuse of Kanu, who is illegally detained at the DSS solitary confinement or dungeon for almost 2 years now. The continuous silence and refusal of the justices of the Supreme Court of Nigeria to set a date of hearing on the appeals brought before them by the federal government against the discharge and acquitted order from the Abuja Appeal Court has shown that the Apex Court is not neutral in this case. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a prisoner of conscience, was abducted and tortured in Kenya before he was renditioned to Nigeria by the Nigerian state secret agents. On October 13, 2023, the Abuja Appeal Court discharged and acquitted Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and ordered the Nigerian government to pay him adequate compensation. Instead of releasing MNK as ordered by the Appeal Court, the federal government ran to the Supreme Court to frustrate the Appeal Court orders and appealed the case. Over 150 days after this appeal was lodged, the Apex Court, which ought to be the last hope of a common man, has maintained silence, thereby allowing the Nigerian government to continue to torture and the illegal detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in DSS solitary dungeon for confinement. The subversion of law and justice and the continuing persecution of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, irrespective of his failing health condition, is regrettable, unfortunate, and in clear violations of his fundamental human rights according to the Nigerian Constitution and international laws. End of quote. And so, this is the statement of IPOB. IPOB is not happy about the way and manner the Supreme Court is handling the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. IPOB said it has shown that they are biased, and the issue of ethnic profiling against Igbo is real, and it has been evident in the way the Supreme Court is treating this case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, it is obvious that the Supreme Court is frustrating Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case, or even frustrating him as well, and frustrating the IPOB, who are working hard to make sure that the leader is being released. So they are frustrating the Igbos, not just IPOB. That's what the Supreme Court is doing, because the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is what every Igbo man holds dear to his heart. They all want him to be released from the detention facility, not because he's an Igbo, but because his hands are clean. All allegations, charges preferred against him has been quashed. He has been discharged and acquitted by the court of competent jurisdiction in the land. And so the people of the Southeast, the Igbos, the Biafrans, they are not happy that they are still keeping him in detention facility. So President Muhammadu Buhari is frustrating the efforts of the Igbos to see that the leader of the IPOB is released. And he's doing that to the Supreme Court of Nigeria. And Supreme Court allowed themselves to be doing this kind of thing. You've seen it. So it is obvious now the Igbos are being, persecuted from all fronts. No respite at all for many quarters. They are being targeted for, victimization at all times and in any circumstance. And the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is no exception or difference. So that is what we are saying this morning. Supreme Court of Nigeria, you are the court, the apex court in the land, the last hope of the common man. What are you doing? Why allowing yourself to be rogued into the murky waters of Nigerian politics? Not just politics, but this ethnic jingoism going on in the Supreme Court. What is responsible for this? If not that Nigeria has gone down the drain, the institutions that are supposed to protect the right of the citizens, the institutions are supposed to be the last hope of the common man, like it is normally said in the law, is now being used as a weapon to fight people, to fight perceived enemies. Government is using them to fight oppositions and enemies, perceived enemies. And that is what we are saying. Supreme Court of Nigeria shouldn't allow itself to degenerate to such lowly a state. It's abysmal in its entirety. And so why the Igbo is being targeted at all times, in all places? Why? Aisha Yusufu have said it. Say, look, why the Igbos are being targeted, why the Igbos are being victimized, why the Igbos are being hated everywhere in Nigeria is because of their sources and their gods and their resilient nature. That's why people are hating them. And that is true. And he said the good thing the Igbo can do for themselves is to continue in that regard, to continue to be resilient, to continue to be steadfast and move in their gods. The boldness of the Igbo, the stout nature of the Igbo, they should continue in that direction. Yes, and that is it. So we have seen it, that the Supreme Court is out to frustrate the case. They don't want it to be adjudicated. They want the leader of the IPOB to stay there permanently. But that will not work. They are human beings, mere mortals. So they have very strong limitations on what they can do. Very strong limitations. And very soon it will dawn on them that they are mere mortals when the leader of the IPOB will come out victoriously from that dungeon. Yes, it will happen. There's no point of being dispirited or feel despair. It's not gloomy at all. It's bright in the horizon. We'll get there. Victory is assured. Yes. Alute continue.